Guys, today we're going to make a fantastic squash soup. Here I've got a Crown Prince. This came from Thorne's Farm Shop just down the road from us. They also supply veg in a box, so if you're ordering from Julie, make sure you choose a good squash and away you go. Beautiful soup can be yours within about an hour. Here, this is about 1.4 kilos in weight, 500 ml of veggie stock. You could use chicken stock as an alternative, 30 grams of unsalted butter, 2 small onions and a couple of cloves of garlic. Now if you don't like those, just leave the cloves of garlic out. It's not a major issue. First of all, what I need to do is actually roast the butternut squash. Now I'm going to roast it in its skin in the oven at about 200 degrees, and it's going to take about 40 minutes to soften, and I'm going to show you that process next. Now I've cut the squash in half, I'm just going to remove the seeds using a spoon. You need to dig in and remove all of those seeds. Don't throw them away. Potentially these can be used to grow further squashes at a later date. So carefully with a spoon, dig all of those seeds out of both halves. Nearly there. Just a good scrape now. And we're ready for the next stage of roasting. So with the seeds removed, you know, look at the beautiful vibrant colour of this squash now. I'm going to cut it into quarters, and we're going to wrap it in foil with a little bit of oil and some crushed garlic to help the flavour. And then we'll roast this for about 40 minutes at about 180 to 200 degrees, just until the flesh is beautifully soft. So now carefully, using a very sharp knife, just cut the butternut squash down into some nice, what I would call roastable pieces. We're going to wrap these now in tin foil, a little bit of crushed garlic, a little bit of oil, maybe a touch of salt and pepper, and let them roast. So just get your heel of your hand, clove of garlic, peel the skin off, and into that butternut squash. Very simplistic, very easy, but full of flavour. So I've crushed a simple clove of garlic. Going to add a little bit of vegetable oil. It could be sunflower or a nice local rapeseed oil will be good. I'm just going to wrap this up in foil now. Make a nice tight little parcel. Squash is now on a tray, wrapped in foil. Going to cook it now at 180 to 200 degrees for about 40 minutes until it's nice and soft. Now I've just got the stock, 500 ml of veg stock, into the pan. Just warming it gently on about number 5 here, just to get it to dissolve, ready to add to the squash, ready for blending. So the squash cooked in the oven for about 50 minutes actually to an hour, till it's beautifully soft. Just scoop it off the skin and put it into a dish. Any bits of garlic that are lovely and soft and you want to add those in, not a problem. Clean the skin off as best as possible. Beautiful. So really now, the onions have been peeled and cut in half, left on the root. I'm just going to take that little bit of the root away and then slice these onions up. This beautiful Robert Welsh chef's knife just glides through these onions. The onions have been nicely sliced, ready to go. Now down to our garlic here. Just slice the garlic up. 2 whole cloves. 30 grams of unsalted butter goes into the pan. Wait for the butter now to start foaming. Just move it around the pan. If you have a dairy allergy, just use a little bit of oil. Some vegetable oil will be good, a little bit of rapeseed oil as an alternative. So the butter's melting now, you can see it bubbling away in the pan. In goes our onion. Just get the onion sweating off. A little pinch of salt is going to draw the moisture from the onion and keep it nice and soft. We don't want any colour. I'm on number 6 here on the heat. A nice little stir. Now be patient. Let the onions sweeten up and soften. Don't cook them with any colour. So the onions now have been cooking for 3 or 4 minutes. No colour, but they're softening beautifully. That little bit of salt just helps draw out the juices. Now into the pan, garlic. This is just going to give us a nice little base flavour for the squash. That Crown Prince is deep orange, caramelised slightly in the oven with the heat. It's just going to bring a lovely richness to the dish. So now into this, let's just get all of the squash. A little bit of skin. Let's swipe down garlic. Lovely. Turn it over in the onions. So turn the onions over into the squash. Now I'm going to take my veg stock, which is just warmed. In that goes. Now because the squash is already cooked and roasted and our onions are soft, the garlic's soft, we just need to blend it now and this soup is ready to go. So now we'll just take the squash, the stock, the onions and that lovely garlic, and we're just going to blend it until we get a beautiful smooth base for our soup. So now we're just going to add a little splash of water, probably about 200 ml. It's always good at this stage. Nice little pinch of salt, and let's have a crack of black pepper, so as it blends it draws that seasoning into the base. So we're going to take this beautiful Crown Prince from Thorne's Farm Shop into the pan. Don't waste what's in the jug. So what I'm going to do is just slosh the jug out with a little bit more water just to get those beautiful flavours out. A little splash of water, there you go, into the soup. So I've poured it from the blender. Just add water or a little bit of double cream if you want, just to get your consistency right. This is beautiful. This is nice and autumnal. It's rich, it's thick. I'm just going to finish with a little bit more salt to taste for my liking, and a nice little bit of pepper. Look at that, wonderful, silky, smooth, seasoned, ready to serve.